Hi, my name's Paul. My friends call me Woo. I'm 38 years old. I currently live in the UK.
And you used to have some health issues before?
I did. 9 years ago I was diagnosed with stage 3 kidney disease. Now within that there's 5 stages, so obviously I was middle road. During my original diagnosis I was told that within 10 to 15 years I would probably need a transplant or dialysis.
Wow.
Along with my kidney disease, I was severely overweight because of the medication that I was taking. At the time I was 15.5 stone, had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and that was actually using a vegetarian stroke vegan diet at the time.
Right.
I did consider myself to eat quite healthily. But that obviously wasn't the case.
And how much medication did you take?
I was on roughly around 10 to 12 tablets every single day, ranging from omeprazole, simvastatin, ramipril, irbesartan, aspirin, cocodamol.
Wow.
And then on top of that, tablets that would suppress my mood and help my mood actually.
Oh, so yes, because of
100%.
depression.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being told, when you're 30 years old that, you have this condition that's going to really change your life considerably. It sort of really messes around with your mood.
Oh, can imagine.
Yeah.
So you tried lots of different things, or you did what the doctor said, or?
I think I've always grown up thinking that doctors know best, and listening to your elders, they have a wealth of experience. And actually, all my doctor did was put me on medication, said that I would be on that for the rest of my life. And I just thought, well, this is me. That's it. My life's over. And I sort of lived by that. Yeah.
Okay, so what did you do?
Okay, well, it got to the point where I started to get quite sick, mentally and physically. I couldn't really run. I liked running. I've been involved in the martial arts since I was 4 years old. That had started to take a back seat. And I decided to start looking on the interweb, on the internet. I saw people like Harley, like Dr. Douglas Graham, and I decided to look at things like fasting. I researched Dr. Herbert Shelton, realised that possibly at the time fasting was a pretty good way of being able to get a really good detox, all of the medicines that I've been taking for 5 or 6 years out of my system. During the time that I fasted, actually, I lost the biggest percentage of my weight.
Right.
And I think, along with that, while I was fasting, I used that time to actually research a lifestyle and a diet that would actually help my illness specifically. So I looked at a raw foods diet directly after the 30-day fast had finished. That was sort of like ground zero for me, really. That was a day that it had to start. So I went and picked up Doug Graham's book, had a look through that, and I've not really turned back since.
Wow. And what were the first improvements you noticed?
Just clarity of mind, to be quite honest. I remember going back and saying to my consultant that was it. I didn't want to take any more tablets at all. I didn't want any more medication. I didn't want to be in the hospital at all. They ran some blood tests originally and told me that there was actually no trace of kidney disease anymore.
And how long was this within starting the diet?
We're now talking maybe 3 or 4 months into the diet. It wasn't a very quick
right.
thing.
But after 3.5 months or so, you started, your kidney disease was gone.
It was completely gone, completely eradicated. That's without medication. That's just eating raw fruits
and veggies.
Exactly. I mean, one thing that I learned very quickly, and that was to drink water. I hadn't drank much water. My water usually contained things like tea or coffee.
Right.
So obviously, I think because of my fast, I think I learned to drink water. And I guess just like a car, if you run a car dry without water, things are going to go wrong. And I felt that was the same as my body. So drinking water's really, really helped me.
Wow. And what about the other issues you had? When did they disappear?
With my weight, I think simply because I fasted and I was drinking water, I was allowing my body a chance to heal. Therefore, it was getting rid of all the toxins in my body. I lost 3 stone, I think, within 3 to 4 weeks of the initial water fast. The rest of my weight dropped off as I started to follow a raw foods diet, and I think it doesn't matter really. When you're eating a raw foods diet, from what I understand of my own belief, is that regardless of what food you're eating, your body will naturally fall into a size that you should be, whether that's putting weight on or whether it's losing weight. And eating raw foods has a wonderful way of doing that. I noticed eating raw foods that I was able to concentrate a lot more, that my mind had more clarity, my eyes felt brighter, I looked around, my mood was a lot more happier. I could engage with people a lot more than what I had done before.
And what about your mood?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, before raw foods, I was very insular. I liked my own company. I didn't like to talk to too many people. I think because I didn't want to pass on the way that I was feeling. But what I found is actually that the more raw foods I ate, the more water I drank, the more my health improved, the more I wanted to engage with people, because I wanted to pass on the information that I had to them.
And what about the depression?
Depression's an awful thing. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter whether you're healthy, whether you're unhealthy, whether you're young, whether you're old, whether you've got money, whether you haven't got money. Depression was a horrible thing for me. It took me to the darkest.
But when did it disappear?
It disappeared. Actually, I remember it disappeared. I would say probably 3 weeks into my water fast.
That fast?
Yeah, that fast. Seriously.
Okay.
Seriously.
And what about the high blood pressure and all that?
I checked my blood pressure. Well, I check it daily. Obviously, I haven't been able to do that while I've been at Fruit Fest. But I checked my blood pressure daily. Before I came to Fruit Fest last week, it was 124 over 58. Before, while I was ill, it was in the regions of 198 over 110.
Right.
I currently have a resting heart rate of between 33 and 55. So.
Okay. And the cholesterol?
The cholesterol, I think, is 5.1. I think it was 9.6 when I was originally diagnosed with high cholesterol.
So a lot of health improvements.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm running 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 miles. I absolutely love running now, and I never would have considered that while I was taking medication.
Right. And do you take medication today?
I don't take anything at all. The only medication that I take is my food and my water and oxygen.
And do you have a final good advice for somebody who has kidney disease, high cholesterol and all that?
The only advice that I have for them is get on this lifestyle, change your lifestyle. You're the master of your own life. Nobody can tell you what to do. You have to listen to your body. I always say to my students, if it feels right, it usually is. If it feels wrong, it usually is. You know how you're feeling inside, and if it feels wrong, you have to do something about it. Look at what you're eating. It's one of the main components. I have what I call my fourfold formula, and that's correct exercise, correct food, correct sleep, and then the right amount of hydration.
Right. Thank you so much for
worries.
sharing your story.
Thank you very much.